Hey guys, it's Shamsa and welcome back to my little kitchen. Now today I'm going to show you how to make my version of King Prawn Bhuna, which is going to feed a family of 4 or more for under £13. Yes. Now this is a restaurant inspired dish. All the local takeaways and restaurants serve a King Prawn Bhuna. Now I was looking at the prices around my local restaurants and takeaways and they range from £8.80 to £13 being the most expensive one, and that is just a portion of King Prawn Bhuna. Now let me know in the comments below how many prawns, if you have ordered a prawn bhuna from your local takeaways, how many prawns you actually get. I've ordered in the past and sometimes I get 4, sometimes 5. At a push I'll get 6. I counted 40 prawns, 40, yes, prawns in my prawn bhuna curry, and this is the reason why I'm sharing with you this curry, because you can make dishes at home which are simple and easy to make, taste fantastic and are budget friendly. So why pay a restaurant or a takeaway £13 for just 4, 5 or 6 king prawns when you can make this at home? So I'm going to share the recipe with you guys. Please make sure you share it with your family and friends. If you like it, hit the like button, turn your subscriptions on for my channel if you want to see more recipes like these. Check out my other videos as well and turn your bell notifications on for all things cooking. So let's start. So the ingredients you're going to need are prawns. I'm using raw peeled jumbo king prawns here. Now I purchased mine from Farm Foods. They were on offer. There were 3 packets for £12 and I'm using 2 packets here. Now they weigh approximately 700 grams. I've defrosted them, washed them and just let them sit in the sieve so that they drain. I've got here 2 medium onions which are finely sliced and chopped. I've sliced them first and obviously chopped them into smaller pieces, and they weigh approximately 400 grams in weight. I've got here 4 small tomatoes which weigh 250 grams. Again, I've chopped them into small pieces, and I've got here 1/3 of a cup of oil and the following spices. I've got 2 teaspoons of salt, coriander powder and deghi mirch, which is the Kashmiri chili powder, which adds a really nice flavour and colour but not the heat. I've got 1 teaspoon of regular chili powder and half a teaspoon of turmeric powder here. I've got some whole spices, 2 bay leaves, 1 small cinnamon stick, roughly the size of my thumb, and I've got 2 green cardamom pods. I've got 1 teaspoon of homemade garam masala, and I've also got a frozen piece each of ginger and garlic cubes here. Now if you don't have these, you can use the pesto puree. You'll need 1 tablespoon of the pesto puree, or if you're using fresh ginger and garlic chopped or grated, again it's 1 tablespoon. Now I've got here fresh coriander to garnish right at the end, along with some green chillies. These are optional, you don't have to add them in, but they do add a nice pop of colour, and I've just sliced them halfway up. Again, there's 4 chillies there, and I've also got 2 medium tomatoes which I've just chopped into wedges, again for garnishing purposes, and I've also got water to hand to use as and when we need to. So let's start cooking. Right, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add my oil straight into the pot that I'm using and just give it a few seconds just to heat up. My heat setting is currently on a 6, which is a medium heat setting. And then I'm going to add my onions in and we're going to fry them for approximately 10 to 12 minutes until they're really nice and soft and translucent. And the heat setting remains the same, which is a medium heat setting. And I'm going to throw in my whole spices as well. So just pop the lid on and just let them cook away and give them the odd occasional stir in between, and I'll see you guys back in approximately 10 to 12 minutes. Right, okay guys, it's been around 12 minutes that the onions have been cooking away, so I'm just going to remove the lid to show you guys. And they've softened up really nicely, and you can just see there's a slight bit of colour around the edges of the onions. Now into this I'm going to throw in, using the same cup, which is 1/3 of the cup that we use for the oil, just 1/3 of a cup of water straight in like that. Just give that a mix. Heat setting is still on a medium, which is a 6, and then straight in with the tomatoes, the ginger and garlic cubes and the spices, and just give that a mix. Make sure all of that masala is well mixed. And now what we're going to do is we're going to allow this to cook further. So we're going to allow the tomatoes to soften up. So again, just pop the lid back on again, like that. Heat setting on 6, and just let that cook away for around 6 to 8 minutes until the tomatoes and the onions really soften up and, you know, break down. And the tomatoes will obviously release their natural juices, the water, and along with the onions, and the water that we added will help as well. But yeah, keep the lid on, keep stirring it, you know, occasionally a couple of times, and I'll see you guys back in around 6 minutes time. Right, okay, so the masala has been cooking away for approximately 6 minutes, and I'm just going to remove the lid to show you. And you can see that the tomatoes have broken down really nicely. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cook this further. So we're going to start the bunning process. Now I will be doing a video to explain in depth what the bunning process is, but the bunning process is basically just cooking the masala or a curry further to develop its flavour. So I'm going to turn my heat setting up to an 8, which is a high heat setting for my hob. And what we're going to do is now we're going to cook it, keep stirring it, and keep an eye on it for the next 10 to 12 minutes. And we're just going to reduce the water in there. So basically whatever moisture that's left in there, we're going to wait until it's sort of like disappeared, it's evaporated, and we're going to be adding small amounts of water into it in stages and just cooking it down. So you're basically just bunning this now, and what that will do is that will thicken the gravy up, the onions will break down, and the tomatoes have already broken down, but it will give you a really thick sauce to work with. And we're going to do this for about 12 minutes. So I'll see you guys back in 12 minutes time. Right, okay guys, so it's been around 15 minutes that I've been bunning this. I did say 10 to 12 minutes, but it's actually been 15 minutes. I got sidetracked slightly, I do apologise. Now, I've lowered my heat setting and I've put it down to a 3, which is a low heat setting for my hob. And straight into this, I'm going to go in with my prawns. Now at this stage, we turn the heat to full power, which is a 9 for my hob, and give the prawns a stir in there. Now prawns don't take long to cook, so around 6 to 7 minutes of the prawns cooking will be perfect, because we don't want them to be overcooked because they'll turn sort of like tough and chewy. So my heat setting is now on a 9, and we're just going to cook these further. And I'm also going to go in at this stage with 1/3 of a cup of water. Now, you don't have to add this in, but it will just help sort of like the masala and the gravy to loosen up a bit. And you obviously want to have prawns, but you also want to have the masala. I actually like a lot of prawns in my bhuna, but if you wanted to add less in, you could do, because my girls like prawns as well. We all do, in fact. And just keep stirring them like that. And now we're going to pop the lid on, and it's on a full heat setting here, so it's on 9, and just allow them to cook away for approximately 6-7 minutes, and I'll show you how they look once they're done. Right, okay, so the prawns have been cooking away for 7 minutes. And just look at that, absolutely amazing. Oh, the aroma, ooh, it's just wonderful. Right, so into this now, oops, I'm going to throw in my chillies. Again, you don't have to add these in, personal preference, and also the tomatoes. And at this stage we are going to close our hob, so turn that off and garnish with the garam masala like that, and just gently stir that through. Just look at the colours, the contrast of the green chilies with the tomatoes, absolutely wonderful. And the masala just tastes amazing. I tried a little bit earlier, it was just absolutely delicious. And there we have it, guys. And the last thing is your fresh coriander, just throw that right on top like that. And there you have it, guys. My King Prawn Bhuna is all ready, and I'm going to plate this up and show you. But just to mention quickly, a bhuna is a dry sort of like curry. If you wanted to have more masala in there or a slightly runnier sort of like sauce, then you could double the amount of water added into that when we added the prawns in. That will give you a slightly runnier curry. And if you wanted more masala in there, just double the quantity of the onions and the tomatoes at the very beginning when I gave you the ingredients. But yeah, let me plate this up and show you guys exactly how it is. Right, okay guys, as you can see, the King Prawn Bhuna is all ready and plated up. Looks absolutely gorgeous. And there's lots of prawns in there, and you know what? I'm all about prawns. I don't even care about the masala. I just want the prawns in there. And now the taste test. Now you can serve this up with rice. I mean, obviously it's not going to cost much to make a couple of portions of rice, which is really cheap. Even naan breads as well, if you were to buy them pre-packed from any sort of like Asian supermarket or, you know, your local supermarkets, it's just a couple of quid. It's still going to be a lot cheaper to make this at home than ordering something from your local takeaway. So here goes the taste test. Oh, Bismillah, look at this. Oh, I'm gonna put this down. That is, oh my God, it's so delicious. I can't even explain to you. There is so much happening in my mouth. The prawns are just cooked to perfection. They are juicy, they are plump, they are moist, they're not tough, they're not rubbery, and that masala is just absolutely wonderful. You know, the way that we bhun the masala, that is the thing that elevates the dishes from here to here, and that's what you want. Oh my God, absolutely gorgeous. Spices are spot on. Again, if you wanted it slightly spicier, just add more regular chili powder in there and it'll become a lot more spicier. But for me and the girls, this is perfect. There's just the tomatoes, the you know, the onions, and the flavour of the prawns is just absolutely delicious. I'm going to leave you with this one. If you've liked what you've seen, hit the like button and share the recipe with your family and friends. Enjoy it, and I'll catch you soon with another one. Till then, take care and happy eating.